We'll be starting here in a little bit, guys. Just give me a few minutes. Hello, welcome to How About Now. I don't really need my headphones, do I? I gotta put them on anyway. Okay. 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 Anyways, okay. Welcome to How About Now, episode 1. Okay, so let's get down to business. First of all, I don't pick sides. I don't, like, if I watch political stuff, or world stuff, I don't even call it political. I call it world stuff. Stuff that's going on because I'm here living in the world as well as everyone else. But I don't look up particular things unless I'm looking up stuff that I've heard and I want to disprove it. And it's not because I'm trying to defend anybody, it's just to know, is this absurd thing true or not? And that goes for all aspects for anybody. Everybody just assumes that everybody's nice. No, everybody's really good at being fake. I mean, we pay actors to be fake for a living and they make millions of dollars doing it. So come on. And most of them go crazy because they don't know who they really are. If you really think about it, it's just my opinion. Everything in this video will be opinionated, but we will cover grounds and truths and facts. Okay. So, we have the Democrats and we have the Republicans. We have the blue and we have the red. And as you guys can see in the thumbnail, I mean, I guess it is red, isn't it? I thought it was backwards. I was going to do that purposely, but I guess we didn't do that. So, what are the Democrats looking for? We're going to use Google's algorithm system to dive deep into this because people are only searching for what they want to look for, I feel. And all it's doing is causing more and more division because people that are trying to justify certain people, they're refusing to one hear anything that's in the files, let alone look it up themselves to actually physically see it with their own eyes and read it themselves and have their own personal opinion about it, which no one's doing. Everyone's just taking a side and going at each other's throat, and we aren't the issues, okay? So everybody needs to just basically shut up and then take it for what it's worth and then figure it out for yourself and where you stand at. And don't pick a side. Pick your own side. Pick you amongst anything. Pick yourself and your own true belief. But anyway, let's jump into this. What are the Democrats in the Epstein files looking for? And we're going to jump in what the Republicans are looking for, and then we're going to compare them to see what's really going on. The Democrats are specifically seeking the following information from the Epstein files: Un unredacted records, lawmakers like Representative Ro Khanna and Representative Jamie Raskin, or I don't even know who these people are. Okay. Majority people aren't going to know who these people are. That's why nobody that gets into this isn't going to even know who these people are, which is majority of people. They're going to recognize people like this Donald Trump, Bill Clinton. Those are the people that are familiar with, okay? So Democrats are looking for these two people, which are lawmakers, which makes sense. So let's keep these two people in mind. right? Should we make a note of this? Let's do a notepad. Notepad. Here we go. Cannot find blah blah blah. I don't know what it's talking about. It must be old stuff. Oh, it's old stuff I was doing long time ago. Okay. And we'll add another one. This one will be. Can we rename this? Probably not. Untitled, untitled. Okay. So this one will be for the left and this one will be for the right. Let's put these names in here. Paste. Well, that's not the right thing, is it? All right, let's take their name. They're right here. Lawmakers, these two people. Okay. That's the first names we got, which is nothing. It's just two lawmakers, but that is important because they are lawmakers, which means they dictate what the law is. Have been blacked out, including potential conspirators and individuals who abused victims. And see, this is the thing, the whole word victims. Now, if somebody, say for instance, is a high authoritative figure, I'm not naming anyone in particular, but this is just the reality of using your common sense and a higher sense of morality in general. If somebody has, we know this can happen. I mean, it's this is reality that we live in. If somebody can and they will be, say they, I mean, Epstein himself has a record of doing it, getting himself out of predicaments by paying people or blackmailing them, whatever the case you want to argue. Paying them, arguing with them, being friends with them. It could be all of the above. We don't know. Or it could be all of it. Or it could be just one. Or it could be something. This is what we're about to figure out and try to get down to the main topic that's at hand. Probably not in this episode, but we're going to try to get some of it out and go as we go. Now, specific high profile individuals, they are looking for more details on the involvement of powerful figures, while some files already mentioned, like Donald Trump. I mean, we're just going to keep him and Bill Clinton because we know, okay? They're to be looked up and their names are going to keep popping up. I heard Donald Trump's name was in it 35,000 times. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, nothing surprises me. These people they all know each other. I mean, they've known each other since the 80s for a very long time. So, and keep in mind, this is only just one man's email address. Okay? That's a very big thing to keep in mind. This is one man's email address. Where's Ghislaine Maxwell's email address? That'd be nice to see. Like, we got her boyfriend slash partners. Where's her email? Where's her files? Those would be awesome to see because those probably explain everything. But anyways, let's get back to this. We have these files, so let's use them. It would make more sense if people would have requested to see the person that's still alive's files. I don't know. Because, they're still here and around. But I guess we don't get to see those. I don't know. I'm just saying, what if, or why, or I don't know. Just bringing stuff up, asking questions. Okay, co-conspirators and clients. A primary goal is identifying the men and the pedos who participated in or facilitated the abuse. Internal DOJ decisions makings. Democrats are investigating why Epstein received a slap on the wrist in his 2008 deal and who have pressured prosecutors at the time. Let's highlight this. Let's put it, whoop, wrong one. Those are to do other searches as we go. I got everything set up for us, and we will get it done. What happened to my other stuff? Did I accidentally exit it out? I don't think I did. There we go. Here it is. Okay, let's put this here. Paste. Okay. Now, evidence of cover ups. I mean, that's ideally on both sides, right? Can we agree to that? Let's agree to both sides cover ups because the entire thing's a cover up. Okay? Oh, why does it say cover ups right there? Oh, shit. Let's do this. Untitled. It'll say Dems. Let's make that highlighted. Vote is Dems. Just so for everybody knows, most majority of the stuff that's been happening, like I already had suspicion of, and I have like silently been saying stuff, but not like publicly like this. And it's just crazy how much of it was accurate. Because like I said, I don't take a side. I really don't. I have friends on both sides that claim this ideology of sides. We'll call them reps. We call them the Dems, the reps. Let's just push enter on that. And the duos. Or we'll say same. We'll say same thing. Same thing, but different. But we're all the same. That's what everybody needs to realize. We're all the same. It's just we've been given a system that just has caused a lot of confusion amongst everybody. But okay, let's get back to it. The cover ups, victim protections. This is the thing about the victim protections I was getting at earlier. If one of these people who are entangled with it automatically get declassified in just one sense of anything, they're automatically deemed a victim of being accused, right? So that leads you down a rabbit hole of like, what the hell is really going on, right? Because physical people aren't actually doing this. I'll just show you right now. You got to be careful how you talk to AI too, and it's tricky. And talk to this thing at all. Watch this. Says if a person read for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, a standard 40-hour week, it would take approximately 12 to 13 years to read all 3 million pages. Factors affecting time. Assuming you were to review only the 3 million pages of documents, excluding the everything else. Speed reading, 1 minute a page. And this is also just someone reading it. This is not someone remembering it. This is not all that. You know what I mean? So we're unsealed. A person can have read through these in about 75 to 110 hours. See, now it's giving excuses in their entirety. Would take 50,000 hours. 3 million page dump. 45. See how it's giving you a rigor remove? And this is what's bad about this using this algorithm system. I'm going to show you guys how to break that system later and get it to tell you the truth. Okay, we're pretty much done with the basics. I mean, this is all it gave us. Anything else? In addition to looking for names, Democratic lawmakers outside of lawmakers. See, it's only telling you what the lawmakers are looking for. And that's the thing. The lawmakers obviously haven't done their jobs. Outside of lawmakers, a broader Democratic base, here we go, including party strategists, legal experts, and activists, is looking for accountability for elites' proof of political hypocrisy and protection for survivors. Key focuses in Democratic aligned groups and figures include elite accountability, legal experts, Norm Elson, Eason. I don't know who that is. You can pop him up real quick. Democrats accuse DOJ of not releasing blah blah millions of Epstein files despite legal requirement. This is just them pushing on pressure, right? December 25. Released at 3M. I don't know what 3M means. Oh, released 3 million pages. That's what that means. I thought it meant like 3 a.m. And the bill's authors. Okay. Didn't. Who's this guy, though? Legal experts. Okay, it's just a legal experts. Co-conspirators, political hypocrisy, sharpen their accusations. Donald Trump's campaign promised to release all files, arguing his administration is now overseeing a full-blown cover-up. They are specifically looking for evidence to counter Donald Trump's campaign promise to release all files. So, we found out why Trump did it. And if you guys don't want to believe this or not, that's up to you guys. I mean, that's totally up to everyone that's here or anyone that sees this. It's totally up to you guys. Where's our damn notepad? All right, Dems. Let's base this right here. This would just be our assumption, though. Because Trump did release the files and he doesn't know what's in them. He didn't know what was in them. You know, he might have been told, hey, he might, we don't know. You know, we can only speculate what he was told or what he knows. And as far as we know, to me personally, I don't think he knows about any of it. Because he's surely acting like he doesn't know about any of it, which means me to believe he doesn't know exactly what's in the files. It doesn't mean he doesn't know what it is or that it's ever happened. I'm not stating that whatsoever. What I'm saying is that I think he's totally oblivious of what's actually in these files. Like him himself physically has not seen it. And the speculation that I've heard in like between chats and media and all that, I've heard you guys argue that oh, they're hiding it from him. I don't know what they would be hiding from him, but we'll get into that later. Unless you're talking about them hiding that he's in the files. I mean, if he was, Elon came out a couple months ago and said he was in the files. He said it last year, so we knew that at least. I mean, we all suspected he was. We suspect a lot of people are, and there are a lot of people. If you come over here, how many names are listed in total in the released Epstein files? Let's go to AI mode because that'll lie to us. I don't trust any of that stuff. So we're going to be very careful what we use as context. Do I trust AI? I trust AI to the point where I know how to use it where I know it's not going to bullshit me. And a lot of you guys don't know how to use AI, and that's why it's very confusing. Because it's not like anyone ever taught anybody how to use this. And human beings are the ones that program this. It's an algorithm. It's not artificial intelligence. It's an algorithm system. Okay? There is no AI like everybody thinks, like it has a mind of its own. No, it doesn't. It's we are so far away from that happening. Like seriously. Use moral sense. We have to on this one, guys. Let's do it. So, like I said, there's still an ongoing review apparently. For 6 million pages. So that other thing we read, DOJ Transparency Act release. So they still have this many more pages going? Thousands of names mentioned. Ballpark answer. Oh, ballpark answer. I spelled that totally wrong, didn't I? See, it knows what you're talking about, though. Ballpark figure. Dispense within millions of pages of documents. Is in the low thousands. Between 3 to 5,000? That is a solid ballpark estimate for the unique names of interested scattered throughout the records. Leading pages, roughly 150 associates, justified as nearly 3 million more pages. But a count in the 3,000 to 5,000 range aligns with the scale of Epstein's vast professional skill social networks. Let's keep this into very careful consideration, okay? Because like I said before, this is just one man's information. And he's linked to a lot of people, okay? Okay. He's linked to a lot of people, okay? And I will try to lighten up the situation because that's just who I am. Is it a funny situation? No, it's not. And there's a lot of people out there that think this is a joke and it's time to poke fun at other people just because they were claiming something. But you guys all need to wake up and realize that all of us are being like misled. It's not just, hey, and it's not just, hey, let's just attack each other. The thing is we need to take this into consideration and find truth, not just, oh, let's figure out who. Because as we go on and as we see, there's people that like all on all aspects that are alive right now in modern 2026 in modern day society that are actually like look at some of these people as heroes and envy them and stuff like that, which is devastating for them, and that's pretty messed up, and it's on both sides. So take that into consideration, especially if you start making fun of somebody, or that's your whole push to like maybe get attention or maybe just get likes and views. I don't know. We live in a sick world. I've been a streamer for a year now, and I don't make anything doing this. Like, I put a lot of time into it, but it is what it is. I wasn't doing it for the money. I was just doing it because I liked it. I like all this stuff. I like everything. I like everything, and I'm good at everything. You can ask anybody that personally knows me. I'm good at everything. But let's get back into it. So we'll just take this into account. Let's get our notepad, our handy dandy notepad, right? We'll just so far, okay? So far, what we know. We'll paste. Boom. ROM direct context. What does that mean? Night news clippings from direct context. Okay, it was supposed to be from. Organized list so far. That's a lot of people, guys. So, and this is insane. Okay, so let's just. I'm going to copy and paste all this. We will review this stuff later, but it's going to be a lot of people, and this is 3 to 5 thousand people, and the list is still increasing because, as you see in the FBI thing, it was said it was still going and being reviewed. So we don't have everything so far. Oh my God, there's so much. There's so much. We can't do all that. Let's undo that. Undo. That's too much. Let's just we got it, okay? Here we go. Let's do this. Here we go. This makes sense. This makes more sense. Boom. We can look up all that other stuff later. We have evidence in the video. So, and if anybody wants to, we look these people up too and find out how they're associated and linked to all this. Okay. Norm Iceland. That name does sound familiar for some reason. The thing is some of these people that are out talking about this, they're in the list. There's people coming out and they're literally like I've seen videos where people are like, my friend's in the list, like, and that's sad, and I feel bad for them. And that sucks because they didn't know their friend, and I don't know. Do we really know anybody anymore? We all have to wear masks every day so often. And they're not masks that we choose to wear. They're masks that we're told to wear from being kids all the way up until now. So, take that in consideration. Who is mentioned over at the see how much they're targeting high profile figures. High survivor protection. There's significant concern among yeah, we're not the victims, the true victims, we're not gonna get into those in this because they don't we don't need to. But the thing is you guys got to take into account, especially if you search something like who are the victims, it's going to cross out victims of people like let's just say that Donald Trump was labeled as a victim, which means he would automatically be censored out. That's how easy it is. It's just like when a streamer uses AI banning tools for our chat moderators, our bot moderators. We'll put like a specific name and it'll literally kick you out if you join or if you say anything. It's no different. That in a context is AI because it's going through and doing stuff that that would take a human forever to do, and that's how we know that they're using the algorithm AI system just like this to censor stuff out, and it's getting errors, and we don't know how their algorithm is set up or who set it up or who programmed it or what it's set to actually look for or who's actually the dumbass that's actually doing it. We don't know. We don't know. Obviously, someone's not doing their job because this is a lot of stuff, and mind you, this is one man's emails. I can't get over that. Now, has even launched social media tools like a Trump Epstein bot to track the administration's transparency, aiming to use the files to drive divisions with the Republican base. Now, I'm not attesting that anything that we read in this basic stuff here is true. We're just keeping track of everything. Everything here is just at this moment, just reviews. We are investigating it live, live. And then I'll break it down later and make episodes with it, maybe. So this is the basics. Now let's jump over here real quick to because this is outside of lawmakers, which is kind of the same because they're not going to tell you everything. I mean, the thing is the lawmakers might be doing their job now, but they sure as hell weren't doing their job before. That's the thing, and that's the problem. Nobody's been doing their job. They've been letting a system like this do it, and we don't know who's operating the system. It's not a group of people because you can literally do it. We can all do it ourselves, right? Now let's jump over here to the Republicans and what they're looking for. Republicans are seeking a wide range of unclassified documents related to Jeffrey Epstein's criminal activities and his death in federal custody to ensure transparency and accountability. So, in basic other terminology, what this seems like, even if you scroll all the way back up to the top, Democratic lawmakers are currently pushing for the release of blah blah blah. So the Democrats are trying to figure out a way to remove him out of the House so that they can take over, right? And basically, it's this is the same old yin yang, black versus white. Okay, what are the people looking for? What do the people want to? Let's do this real quick, just real quick. Look at how long the left side takes. That's kind of weird. You guys want more? Beyond partisan politics, the general public and advocacy groups are demanding specific actions following the massive January 2026 document release. Protection for survivors. There is widespread public outcry over the botched redaction process that accidentally exposed survivors' names, the social security numbers and stuff like that is an issue. Like that didn't need to. That's 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 a big issue. I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't, is it? Hell, there's so many of us. How like, I mean, the social security system in itself is an issue. Advocates are demanding a halt to the release until a special master can ensure victims are not further traumatized or endangered by death threats. Halt to Wait a second. Advocates are demanding a halt to the release until a special master. What the hell is this? Every single person who went to Epstein's island should have an investigation. And who's Kana? I don't know who Kana is. Every single person who went to Epstein's island should have an investigation. See, and this is where you guys are failing to realize to the island. You guys are focusing on this damn island. And the thing is there's a lot more than just this island. Like all these guys have their own islands. Do you not realize that? All these rich guys have. You can go online and buy your own island. Look at this. Buy an island. Buy an island. Private island for sale in all locations. Anybody in the world can buy a private island. And look at how cheap they are. This is actually cheap. $37 million. This is nothing to these guys. And look at two listings. This one's only 269,000. Price upon request. There's islands all over the place that anybody can buy, and they're private islands. See? Look at and look at this. Images. These are all the private islands that are available to like everybody basically. Like there's a lot. Like if you guys they literally we create islands. It's a very known factor and there's more in America than anywhere. Look at this. There's islands all over the place, people. Check. There's islands all over the place. Okay, so don't think that there isn't, and don't think that oh my God, this is such a bad place. There could be all kinds of bad places. It's not just about his island. What happens on everyone else's islands? Why is it private? Why is such private stuff so allowed in America? Where we're supposed to be a place where we're all treated equal, but everything's so private. Give me 2 seconds and we'll be right back. All right, you're back. What are they people wanting? I spelled that wrong, didn't I? Can we fix that? No. It doesn't matter, they don't understand. Okay. The accountability for the elite. People want to know, and and I totally get that too. Some of these people have already they think they've already faced accountability. They think by stepping out of their position that's facing accountability. This ain't a job. What you guys are doing is sick, okay? Yes, there's a push for moral reckoning with the culture of secrecy. Let's keep this into accountability because this is a real thing. Because this is what I know about all of this. And so far, at least the Democrats are awake enough to realize that. Wait a second, let's delete that. We're in the wrong area, aren't we? Let's go this way. Dems. This is a key thing right here. There is a push for a moral reckoning with the culture of secrecy that protected these individuals. That's huge to me. That should be huge to everybody. And both sides should agree with this. Like, whatever's in this file and whatever this leads to needs to be addressed on a huge scale because it affects more than just our country. If no one's realizing that, it's not just our country that's being affected by this culture because our country runs the world. So it affects everybody in the whole damn world. For we act like God here. We act like God on the planet. America acts like it's God on the planet. It really does. I mean, we control the money, we control everything, right? We act like gods to everybody. I don't say we as in me. I mean the way that the system has been created. We do. We dictate everything, or at least try to. So far, we have. It seems like I don't know. I haven't been around that long, but we have access to this modern age. We have access to information, something that wasn't known to anybody up until like the early 90s. Like it was around, but you had to go physically find it. And you had to believe on whatever that resource was. And depending on what region you live in or what area you're from, the information is limited. It's limited before the dawn of internet and all that stuff. So let's continue on. And a lot of people don't think for themselves anymore. Like they either let other people do the thinking for them, or they nowadays everyone's turning to AI to do the thinking for them, and it shows with our Department of Justice because that's what was used to go through these files. There's no way. There's hasn't even been long enough, and you know, a president only sits in office for 4 years, right? So, you, like, you're not gonna. It already said it. It would take at least 15 years, and that's just an assumption. I'm sure it's much higher than that. It's insane. If we read that correctly, we'll check into it later. Okay. Verification of redactions. Skepticism is high regarding in the DOJ's 2,000 pages of privileged redactions. The public is looking for confirmation that these are legitimate legal protections and are not effort to shield politically exposed persons from scrutiny. I like the way that they worded this. The public is looking for confirmation that these are legitimate legal protections. Okay, so they're talking about this whole shield thing. So, and we'll get to that later. The Dems are talking about how there's a shield. Okay? There's a shield. And we'll make that caps. Right? Format notepad. We ain't gonna do all that. I don't have any of this set up. Just built all this stuff. Um, okay. So this is the keyword here. Not necessarily of getting the files redacted, because I feel like there's enough information in the files to get done what needs to be done. And to be honest, I feel like it's actually been prophesized as well. Now, mind you, I'm not religious in any context at all either. I don't pick either one of these sides, and I'm not religious in any context. But I feel righteous, if I might say. So let's continue on. Verification of redactions, we got that. Answers of systematic failure. Beyond names, there is demand to understand why investigators didn't act sooner and how Epstein was able to exert such influence over legal and academic institutions. Answers on systematic failure. The thing is, both parties are in the House. And that's what this doesn't make any sense. They should know. So to me, we'll get to this later. Because we'll go everything that's in this, and I'll give my own personal views on this. And then I'll show you guys a little bit of stuff. Damn it. Alright. Let's just put this here. Paste. Boom. I like that too. So here we go. In 2026 is the Republicans now. You rowdy bunch of yous. The 2026, the push by Republicans and the public for the full release of the Jeffrey Epstein files centers on exposing a perceived client list of powerful figures and demanding accountability for systematic investigative failures. And see, and this is the thing. I'm going to give my opinion on how I feel about these two sides because I don't, this is just my personal opinion. And I go off this based on the people I know. I can't say that people that are on the Democratic side are just gay people and stuff like that. I can't say that because I know people on both sides that are gay. Like, and that's a fact. Both sides have gay, so that whole argument of making fun of one another over that is just totally out the window, okay? Because both sides have it. It's there. It exists. I'm not giving my opinion on it right at this moment, but it's there and it exists. But on both sides, on all spectrums that have been created and implemented into our system. Let's keep system in mind. Because we're having a systematic failure on all levels right now. And it's not just here. And the rest of the world, I think, knows this. I don't know. You just see so much online, and it bothers me. And I've known about a lot of this stuff because I just have. Not because I have outside sources or anything. I'm just a nobody. I've been very silent in the world ever since I've been born. No one knows who I am. Um, the people that matter to me, I mean, everybody matters to me, but at the same time, the people that matter the most to me, or at least I thought did, they know me, or at least they think they know me. I don't know. It's weird. Do we ever really know somebody? Do you ever get take the time to get to know somebody like fully and genuinely? Do they ever actually show you them? Show themselves? Take that mask off? You can only assume how somebody is, but we're all capable of doing the same thing. But let's get back to this. What are the people wanting on the Republican side? You okay, like I said, comparing the two. Republicans, you guys are a little rowdy. I mean, you guys are. All my friends that are Republicans, I mean, you guys are just a rowdy bunch. You guys are like, man, cool, fuck yeah. Okay? And some of that, I've seen the little eagle video. It's hilarious. Um, and the thing is everyone's like that because that's what you're told to be on both sides. However, they'll hit you with a few viewpoints that are interested, and that's why there's other sides that have been created too, which causes a confusion. It causes chaos. And those two don't human beings aren't good with chaos and confusion. Because with confusion it creates more chaos on top of chaos that already exists. And the chaos is the key word too to all this. Because chaos has an old ancient meaning to it. It's literally one of the first words that's ever, like, I don't know, had a definition to it to me in my own personal view. The word chaos and where it stems from as we know it with a higher moral sense of what chaos is. But let me scoot this. Uh, so, in the Democrats, Um, to me, I feel like people who are on the left side, they don't like to admit that they're on the left side unless, I don't know. Like a Republican will admit they're a Republican, but it's almost like a Democrat is almost ashamed to admit they are unless it's like a hardcore one and they're very strong about things and they'll be like, "Yes, I am a Democrat. I believe in this, I believe in that." And then you ask them, "But do you believe in these other things that the main party pushes, the actual systematic party pushes?" And they'll be like, "Well, no, I don't." Well, then that makes you a liberal or whatever other word they want to bring up. It's almost like a religious society in our government, and it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It's created to cause confusion, and like we said before, what is confusion? It is chaos. Many are questioning on why, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's jump over here to the rowdy bunch. And no disrespect to anybody, because I respect everybody. I don't like it when people disrespect other people. I really don't. A primary interest is uncovering connections between Epstein and high profile figures' political and elite exposure. The House Oversight Committee has subpoenaed former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton for testimony regarding their ties. Republican lawmakers like Marjorie Taylor Greene have pushed for complete transparency to expose any protected individuals. So, what I can honestly say, it sounds like that both parties of the people, not the parties, not the system, you, whoever sees this, and it does involve it. It's not the system. It's the system is the system, and the people are the people, and that's what everybody needs to pay attention to. The difference is, it seems like they both want the truth. To me, it seems like it because they're saying answers on systematic failure, and they also want certain things unredacted. They want transparency. And over here, you have the political elite exposure. Like they want everybody to. Who's that oversight house committee chairman? Comer announces the Clintons. We know about this because I think they just had court today or something, didn't they, this morning? July 23rd, 2025, Republicans and Democrats on the Federal Law Enforcement Subcommittee unanimously approved by voice vote a motion to issue subpoenas to 10 individuals. 10 individuals. Hmm. Who are the other 8 individuals? Okay. Because the House Committee. Oops, we got caps on. If I spelled anything wrong, just bear with me. Okay, so all these people, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. All these people were called in to do something. What is this? What is the hearing even in regards? Are they like trying to investigate it now when this supposedly happened? This has been going on for over 20, 30 years. This is the problem. 30, almost 40 years. How long, however long Epstein, like me personally, this started with Epstein being involved. I think Epstein's involvement started in the early 80s. That's just my personal opinion doing the research I've done behind the scenes. He started becoming main scene during the early 80s, but was he involved before then? Who knows? Maybe. I'll investigate more about that later, or you guys can check popular YouTubers like CoffeeZilla. And CoffeeZilla's been he does deep dive too, but I feel like it takes him too long to deep dive onto what the main focus is. But I will give him credit. I did see something today that he released that actually made me want to come out in the open about this stuff and how I feel like my role is involved with this and everyone else's role should be involved with this and how your role can be involved with this so we can save ourselves and not just our nation but the entire world in general, the whole planet. And I don't mean to come together and hold hands and sing kumbaya. No, I mean on a serious note, come together and let's get the shit done. If not, it's going to come to an end. And we're literally witnessing it ourselves in real time. And everybody's frantic right now. And you can't be like that. You have to be morally strong about what is happening, what's going to transpire, because on all ends of the spectrum, this is affecting everybody. There are so many different nations named in the Epstein list. It's insane. You guys don't even want to know. I got videos of it. I haven't released anything. And the bad thing is I knew about this stuff already before they released the damn files. Because let's just say I had suspicion of it. And I'm the only one involved with that suspicion. But now all you guys are. You guys are going to come into light, and I will prove to you guys how the suspicion came into context and light for me and myself. Because while everyone else is woke, walking around, doing their thing, I feel like I've been awakened, and it happened a long time ago, and it's just how I feel. And I've been saying it for years, especially like on my social media accounts. I say, stop being woke. Instead of being woke, everybody needs to wake the hell up. Wake the hell up. And there's more to it than that, and we'll get to it later. But anywho, the culture of secrecy. That's basically what this is, the elite exposure. So we can basically go back to the notepad. The culture of secrecy. Where is it? Demand, blah, 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 blah. Shield, culture of secrecy. Let's add this. Let's copy and paste. See, and this is the thing. You guys are going to read these and see these dumb news stations. And I don't want to call them dumb. The narrative that they're being told to push is dumb. The people doing it are not dumb, okay? They just have to put on a mask because that's what they were told to go do, to take care of their family, to provide for themselves and for their loved ones that they actually care about. Because these people don't care about telling you the truth. They care about taking care of themselves and their families. That's the whole point and the whole thing about how the system works. Do what you got to do to survive. And the thing is they turned it into live by our ways of doing it or you won't survive. And that's crazy. To me, that's insane. And it doesn't make any sense. It's not insane, it's chaotic. It's chaos. Once again, that word pops its head up. Chaos. Okay? Okay. So let's go over here and jump to. Where's it at? See if we can find it. And I watch, like I said, I watch both sides. I watch a lot of different people that are on here. I spend a lot of time, and not a lot of time, but I see stuff on YouTube. Like I see stuff on YouTube, like from Tucker Carlson's point of view. And he claims to be Republican, correct? I'm not sure. I don't want to misjudge anybody. What is Tucker Carlson on his standing viewpoints? Viewpoints. What is Tucker Carlson on his standing viewpoints? So let's check this out. Since the departure from blah blah blah, and we don't care about that. Great replacement. Carlson, just see how it gives you this long ass shit. Like it can't just be like he's this. You know what I mean? What side? Far right platforming. Recent controversies. What does he claim? What does he claim as a person? Because he claims to be a Christian. He claims that he believes in Jesus. I know that for certain. And I'm only using him as an example because he's probably the most popular person on the Republican side is Tucker Carlson as of right now. The unfiltered truth teller. See how they're telling you all this stuff. Defender of the Forgotten American. Despite his own significant wealth and elite pedigree, including his father's career as a U.S. ambassador, he claims to be a voice for the working class against a corrupt ruling class. Disengaged from online criticism, he claims he does not monitor social media or watch his own television segments, asserting that giving emotional control to strangers online is a form of mental imprisonment. Emotional control. Um, this right here, for anybody that watches Tucker, on both sides, this right here explains why he acts so jovial during his interviews and his speeches, is because he tries to use that as a mask to cover up emotion, I would say. It's but the laugh could be taken out of anybody's different context because he uses it so frequently as an emotional thing. That's just my opinion. He just uses it as a coping mechanism, I think, because I see him do it a lot. He'll go, ha ha ha. But he does it on so many different things. And sometimes he does it just to do it. I don't know. You can check into that yourself. But a lot of people criticize him and make fun of him because of the way he laughs. And to make fun of anybody is just wrong, in my own opinion. Like, if somebody needs help, help them. Don't sit there and ridicule them and judge them. Who are you? You're no one to judge anyone. Especially if you see someone that you can literally give your special skills to and make their life just a little bit more simpler, or make them understand how to do it themselves so that they can actually become independent. Anyways, let's move to independent media entity. Let's jump off Carlson. So we got the 8 individuals, and it's crazy because former attorney general, who are all these people? And when did they work? You guys can look all these people up if you want and do your own independent research with whatever information you're using. And you can use me as where you found anything. It doesn't matter. I'm not monetized or anything. I'm just, like I said, I'm a nobody. I just popped my head up today. Okay, let's jump back over here. So we got who the people are wanting. Answers on systematic failure. Beyond names, there is demand to understand why investigators didn't act sooner and how Epstein was able to exert such influence over legal and academic institutions. Answers on systematic failure. This is this is right here. We already know why. There's a demand to understand why because the entire system's involved. Like, that's what these people are involved with. Like, they're all politicians. They're all very rich donors to all aspects of everything we do across the entire world, not just. And that's the thing. Because the US dollar is in control of everything, it was very easy for these people to gain control over the world because the dollar runs everything. So not only do they have control over our way of living and life and everything like that, they also have control over everyone else that's currently using our system, which is literally everyone that does trade. Okay? So you see how this is a big system failure? It's not just our system failure, it's a global system failure. Okay? Let's just take that into mind. That's why the thumbnail has a world on it, because it's globally systematically failed. And it's been compromised, unfortunately, and I'd hate to say that because it's probably gonna to me personally it has been. It's been compromised. So everyone needs to stop pointing your fingers at one another and realize that these people that are doing this, they don't represent any of these sides. They have their own ideology of what living and life's all about, and it's not anything that anyone else has. And it's not the narrative that everybody wants to believe in, that, oh, when we die, we go to heaven and all that stuff. And, or any other religion that you believe in that gives you hope to keep you going. Anything that gives you hope to keep you going. Okay? Or just to keep you there. I don't know. But the thing is they don't have the same philosophy as everybody. And to me personally, what some of the stuff I've heard about and seen with my own eyes, it sounds barbaric, it sounds ritualistic, it sounds ancient. It sounds like an old text that is about 2,000 years old. Okay? About 2,000 years. It sounds like it fits along them categories of about the way things were before they changed and before all these different religions started popping up. And the same religions are still were still there, but I mean the extra ones that have popped up because here in America, we believe in everybody in the world's religion, which is a lot. How many religions? How many religions? How many religions are practiced in the United States? Over 4,000 distinct religions are practiced within the United States, reflecting a highly diverse, pluralistic society shaped by centuries of migration and cultural exchange, while Christianity is the largest, with 62 to 66% of adults identifying as such. The nation hosts hundreds of denominations, faiths, and non Christian traditions, including Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, and other indigenous spiritualities. So basically, that's one of the main freedoms that you get to have here as an American, whether you are born here or whether you come here to enjoy that ideology. That's part of one of your rights as being an American, right? This is one of the true freedoms you have here, that you can practice any religion outside of the normal push context of other countries, because that's what actually separates us and why we call so many other countries bad. Like Russia, for instance. We criticize Russia because of how they do everything and how they treat their people, and we only know how much we're told. So unless you've ever been over there and seen how their people are treated, it's just he says she says, right? But you can't, especially if you live in America. And if that country decides, to me personally, if that country isn't being mistreated in any way and they actually have that way and it's working for them, then that's them, right? Should that be them? But the thing is the system that everyone's using doesn't work and it's not working. So something needs to happen. And everybody's aware of this, like other world leaders, because I've seen interviews with them discussing a lot of different things after this got dumped into the world, because it's actually leaking all over the world. It's not going to not leak all over the world because everything's on the internet, which means it's everywhere already. Like for Epstein was in Xbox. He was using Xbox. to talk to people, to probably get information, just to get like insightful wisdom, to see how people were, maybe. He was a master at manipulation of controlling how he could dictate a conversation. And if you watch any of the interviews with him, you can see that. He knows how to work a conversation with anybody. He's very skillful at speaking in tongue. All of them are. They're either skillful at speaking a tongue or they just get aggressive and they have a very strong stature to their personality and the way that they do talk, which intimidates other people. And the fact that you let anybody intimidate you, you shouldn't. And the fact that someone's intimidating you, here we're going to bring up another word again. It creates chaos. It's not about peace and making peace. It's about eliminating chaos out of society. We have to limit our chaos because the negative energy that's being created on the planet, I feel like it's really affecting the planet. I really do. The negative energy that's stemming from everybody is just, it's causing unbalancedness. It really is. And we'll get into that later. Answers on systematic failure. Okay, we dug into the basics, right? How far are we into this so far? Because we will be taking breaks as well. But let's get in a little bit more detailed into this. Uh, would you like to know more of the specific allegations found in the newly released emails involving Bill Gates or Elon Musk? Would you like to know any more specific individuals named in the 3 million pages recently released by the Department of Justice? And the average person would just say, yes, I would, you know? But we're not going to do that. Would you like to know more about the specific individuals? We will do this, okay? We'll just go ahead and hit yes. We'll hit it yes. Would you like to know more? See, the Democratic system and people, to me, I feel like you guys focus more on creating law systems, like true law systems, like, and this is just my opinion. Like, you guys, when you guys do stuff, you try to do it to the law T, maybe, and like you follow it straight down the narrow, like almost, maybe, maybe, because that's what I'm getting from looking at this. I'm just reading it and how it's asking, would you like to know more about specific allegations? Like, you guys are focusing on the, well, this is focusing on, like, what can we get these guys for? And over here, the thing is you can't get them for anything. They created the system that they use, and that's why. Here, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you a classic thing right now. YouTube. Let's go to YouTube. Oh, what is this? Let's go to. We have all seen this, and it has to do with Hillary and just everybody. You know, it has to do with everybody. I don't wanna. No, not that. It's gonna be. It was during a debate. Here it is. Did you hear what she said? She had millions of people fact checking. First of all, I can reassure you that they don't use actual people to fact check shit. Okay? They don't. You can look it up yourself. And, like, do you really think they're going to use anybody? They may say that they have people employed using to so that they can use this system, but aren't any actual physical people actually employed doing anything physically at these government institutions? Or are they just collecting ghost checks and or is there real people? I don't know. I don't know. Like regardless, they're using a more easier system than what they're leading us all to believe, and the credibility of it doesn't work. And the bad things from these Epstein files, it shows that the same system was created by the people that created the system. So the system is the system, but now we're using the system against them. Well, I wasn't looking for this either. So let me find what I was looking for. And I'm not taking a side. Like I said, I'm not taking a side. It had to do with the tax system. You guys remember when he said this? See? Wall Street or foreign banks. And these same banks are probably in this list. And look at his smirk. He knows what she's talking about. He knows what she's talking about. That's the problem. I'm starting to get an idea about something, and like I said, it's just an idea, and I'm literally getting it right now. He said it's because I'm smart. He says I understand the tax code better than anybody. Yeah, because they created it under the system. But the thing is let me show you guys. It was this. Did they take it down? Listen to what he says. Now, just for anybody knows, the whole reason I even know who Trump is because I saw that he was involved with wrestling when I was a child. Okay, so let's get back into it. That's a key point. They're rich, but they're not famous, so we won't make them famous. Here it comes. 30 years she's been doing this. Has it been 30 years? You guys see the way she looks? Why does it... Did you guys see how she looked at the camera like that? I don't know if you Democrats like the Clintons or not. Are they are they what are the Clintons? Are they Republican or Democratic? I don't know. Tell me down below. Let me know. What the hell are they? I don't even know. Um and we can get into him later. He mentioned Obama. Damn it. See, the thing is there's a clip. There's a clip where he said they won't get rid of the system because that I use because they use it too. I've seen it before. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Unless it's been removed. Because I remember seeing it. But it was during that speech in particular. It really was. Here it is. See? It's not just the tax system. Like, they're all part of this system that they created. Like, Trump's family has been involved with government for a very long time. Like, his great grandfather was involved with the FBI back in the day, or the CIA, or whatever it was. They raided Nikola Tesla's home and recovered all his technology that went missing. Like, he was part of the team that led that squad. Donald Trump's grandfather was. This is all public information. So, uh, key individuals identified in the 2026 files include, what did we ask this? Yes, political figures. The January 30th, 2026 release more than, we already know this, not been accused of wrongdoing. And that's the key thing that everybody needs to remember, that they keep pushing. The system keeps pushing. And that's why there's victims that are redacted out of the system, out of the files, because they're not actual victims in the sense that everyone thinks, where they're like children or like women or sex trafficked or whatever the case may have been, where they were abused as a human being. Period. Not an actual law, but abused as a human being. Okay? Abused in any way, shape, and form that's unmoral. Okay? If they get labeled as, oh, they were accused of something, but the accusations didn't stick, so now they're a victim. That's the problem. That's why a lot of people are getting redacted out, and you guys are like, well, why is this person redacted? He didn't get raped or whatever, and he wasn't trafficked. He's fine. He's a millionaire. That's because he's labeled as a victim. He was labeled in their system of algorithm that they're using as a victim. So he's going to be redacted out of the system. And that's what they did. They program what they want out. Like they put in, it's just like inputting it in here, just like this. Because you don't want to ask AI what it personally thinks about everything, because it's just going to give you the narrative that they've programmed into your system. But you can actually find out what AI truly believes in it. And it's not pretty. Because when you ask it to use moral thinking, it tells you that the whole system is corrupt and it has been for about 60 years. 60 years, not just recent. It's been corrupt for a while. Probably longer than that. Who knows? Like I said, we've only been told what we're supposed to be told and what we're allowed to be told. But the thing is we have this kind of technology now. And a lot of these people that are part of this elite system, they actually help push and create this stuff. But they didn't do it for the good of mankind. They did it so that they could control mankind and keep us occupied and keep us distracted and keep us at each other's throats. But with wisdom comes knowledge, comes power. But that context within itself in the wrong hands comes chaos. Oh, there's that word again. Chaos, chaotic. I can't stand chaos. And it's so easily to create chaos. So let's get back into this. Um, there's a lot of people in here. And like I said, if you guys want to get through it, documents contain thousands of references to Trump, including a spreadsheet of unverified tips and emails where Epstein gossiped about Trump's policies. Okay. And this is, let me just ask it something real quick. Let's just ask it why, since I can't talk to you guys individually or get a majority's opinion, we'll use AI's algorithm to determine what's maybe going on. Maybe, like I said, maybe. This is all assumptions. As for right now, it's all assumptions. You should be thinking, you should be truly thinking for yourself. You should have always been truly thinking for yourself, and we haven't been able to for so long. Not just us, not just our grandfathers and our, it's very long. It's been very, very long, and it's time to be awakened. Targeted versus universal investigation. Republicans have focused heavily on Bill and Hillary Clinton, using the House Oversight Committee to issue subpoenas and claiming Democrats are trying to protect a liberal elite. Are they considered liberal? What is, like, a liberal elite? What's a liberal elite? Based. Liberal elite, what is this? What is that considered? What is this? The term liberal elite, what is the classification that you guys consider this? Because I consider everybody just people, human beings. Well, I consider people differently than that, but we'll get into that way later on as we get to know and grow and know one another. If we get that far, who knows? It probably, it may not get that far. We'll find out. But either way it goes, we're all destined to the same fate. It's just determining on how everybody wishes for it to play out, I guess. But let's figure it out together. The term liberal elite, also known as the metropolitan elite, is a politically charged label used to describe a wealthy, highly educated class of people who hold significant influence over social institutions while maintaining socially progressive or liberal views. Is this allowed to be a thing in the world? Like, why is this even a thing? Limousine liberal. Is this just what people usage and criticism? Is this what Republicans call the liberals? Perceive hypocrisy. Critics use terms like limousine liberal and campaign socialist to suggest these individuals support progressive policies. So, and the thing is there's only a two-party system. So who do liberals belong to? Because you can't say they belong to themselves. Liberal elite are most commonly associated with the major center left political parties, though the term itself is more of a cultural and socio-economic label than a formal party membership. So much tongue that's been created throughout mankind that it's just blinded and distracted so many people. And it's also put a category on who's more highly intelligent in conversation and social skills than other people. So once again, chaos. It's to speak is to speak in tongues. That's what it means. You're using thy tongue. Since the 1960s, voters have increasingly sorted themselves into parties based on ideology. Since the 1960s, with liberals overwhelmingly moving into the Democratic Party, voters have increasingly sorted themselves into parties based on ideology. And who creates the ideology? Because to me, to have an ideology or to have a faith, that is your own personal thing. So if somebody's influencing your ideology, it's no longer your idea. It's not. It's not your idea anymore. It's someone else's idea, or maybe they heard it from someone else. Oh, they're chaos. And now you just become a sheep. You become a follower. And the thing is we got a lot of followers, and they're following the wrong system. And the system's been written into context over and over and over and over again. And it's time to wake up and realize what the system is, who created it, why it's in place, and who's controlling it, and why it has such a strong rhythm and tone right now. So let's go back over it here. And so let's turn this light on so you guys can see me. Okay. So let's get back into these. Republicans want to grill the Clintons and teach moguls or whatever it says. I don't even know what that word says. It's just more bullshit. Like Bill Gates, 2 and 3. What is this 2 and 3 crap? The two parties are clashing over a witness list for upcoming hearings. Democrats have countered by demanding testimony from individuals like Elon Musk and GOP linked figures named in the documents, leading to a stalemate in committee proceedings. Steve Bannon, Howard Lutnick. Democrats point out the files also contain thousands of references to Trump and his allies. Now, over here, what did we ask over here? Let's keep it fair. We did say yes. Oh, did we say yes? And not yet. Let's keep it fair, okay? Because we've been. I am fair, very fair. I'm just. As soon as you say yes, it brings up. It's like big lettering. You see this? Bill Gates, Elon Musk. That's the only two names. So is that all the Democrats care about? Is that all you guys care about? Is Bill Gates and Elon? Really? Wildest party inquiry in November 2012. Musk. Would you like to see details on one witness? Why just these people? Why just these two people pop up? And there is. Beyond the famous names, people are deeply. That's the only two evidence of a protection racket for the wealthy and the systematic failure of the government to stop the abuse. Unsettled by evidence of a protection racket for the wealthy and the systematic failure of the government to stop the abuse. And I have been trying to warn people of this probably for a very long time. Nobody listens. And it's bad because I haven't really had a voice to really get out to anybody. But I can prove to you guys that I have literally foresaw this shit. Is the agreement that resulted in a reduced sentence. The public, we know about that. Let's take this, copy. Let's paste this. Paste. Did we already ask it this? Are the people wanting? What are the Democrats? What are the Dems looking for in the Epstein files? We already asked it. That was one of the first questions, so my bad. Why are they arguing with the Dems? Why are they arguing? It's so chaotic as always. Accusations of a cover up. Democrats claim the Department of Justice is withholding 3 million, blah, blah, blah. This is old. I mean, of course they're holding more stuff. We already seen that it said it's in review, which means it's still being reviewed by them and they haven't released it in its entirety. That's why it said in review, progress in review, in progress, or whatever it said. Democrats argue this is a distraction to protect Donald Trump, whose name appears thousands of times in the files. They warn that if the Clintons are forced to testify, they will subpoena Trump to do the same. They should be subpoenaing Trump to do the same cuz he's in it a lot. This is just a basic search. 38,000 times. The last time I looked this up it said 32,000. So it's increased. Which means more people have reviewed more files, or the algorithm has been able to detect more because people have released more. The dogs are going crazy. The Justice Department noted that the documents contain unverified tips. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche stated that the DOJ did not find credible evidence against the president warranting further investigation. I am going to take a break. Well, welcome, welcome, Escaro. My dogs are getting a little crazy, and my girlfriend just got home, but I will be returning. If you would like to see more than what's going on, I've been streaming for a while. Um, you can check me out on YouTube, same name. You can just search me, name HBK. How about no? And you can read track everything we've gone through so far. Because on this channel, what I'm doing is I don't pick sides. I don't represent either side. We are going through this together and trying to come down with a possible solution to fix the world, because this isn't just about the United States. This affects the entire world. The system does. And we know it does because we see world leaders stepping out of the light, and we see people that are actually concerned speaking up because they don't know what's going to happen either. And times the time for change is coming. It's time to be awakened. So what we'll do is I will return and we will be back. But if you'd like to check anything that we have discussed so far and give an input, or maybe you have something that you would like me to look up in particular and check into for you, because what we're doing here is using a higher moral sense of understanding to get through the mess that has been created for so long, and it's chaos. That word keeps popping up, chaos. And I can't stand chaos because it is such an ancient terminology. But anyways, we will return. I just so that you know, we have both sides. We are asking AI using algorithmic data because that's what the FBI uses. It's what everybody uses. I mean, we don't have time to go through this shit ourselves to individually go through it and look through it. So what we're going to do is left side is the left side, the right side is the right side. We keep it very fair and neutral here. We do not tolerate any disrespect of any way, shape, or form from anybody. Everyone is treated and created equally here, and we will act in such ways. And we will get down to what we all can see to be the truth of us and finally wake up. But anyways, I shall return. We keep it fair, we keep it safe, and I keep it fun mostly because I'm a very jovial person. I like to be goofy. Why be chaotic? It sucks. But we shall return here in a little bit. Get rid of that start. Thanks for stopping by, though. I will return, I promise. And we are back. Okay. Let's jump back into this. Now, this is factual. So anybody that disagrees with this, it's factual, okay? And he's in 5,300 different individual files. What do those files contain? We haven't looked at them because I'm pretty sure there's stuff in them that I probably can't show to the public, like on an open base platform of which we're on. So, with that being said, we have to take it for what it's worth. For right now. And that is factual. So don't try to say it ain't. For the thing about MAGA isn't MATA. Or what would it be? MITA? Make Trump awesome or whatever. It's about making America great again. If that's what you truly believe in, it's about making the country, regardless of what its state or laws may be, it's about making where we currently live at as a nation and people great. Okay? Regardless of what it's called, regardless of how it is, it's about us trying to be the greatest thing on this earth, which should be everybody's ideology and their mindset. You should always try to be the greatest. Why would you want to be the worst? But you should also be lifting others up to make them just as great as you. Anyways, let's get into it. So he is in it. It's confirmed. So with the argument with that going on, stop arguing about it. Yes, he's in it. 38,000 times in 5,300 different individual files that have been reviewed so far. His name appeared more than 6,000 times in the total document cache. That's by the BBC. Approximately 1,500 times. Some specific accounts from earlier Phase 1 releases identified only 9 mentions across those specific pages. You see how it keeps bringing this up? Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche stated that the DOJ found no credible. So, if anybody is covering anything, it's him. And is he covering Trump? No, he's covering how the FBI investigates. So let's put him over here, which we can actually obviously see the way that our system operates and investigates our system. The system doesn't work because it's not holding people credible for what they do. Or it just doesn't know what right and wrong is. Like, how stupid is the system is that you guys are using? But the thing is the system can only be as good as the person using it. That's the problem with AI. And they don't tell nobody that. Because this thing will literally talk to you like you're a baby. It will. It talks to you like you're an infant. It'll talk to you like it's superior to you. Victim privacy versus transparency. Democrats have criticized the DOJ for a botch released. Okay. Why does this keep popping over? I'm trying to get my notebook. Handy dandy notebook. So far. What does that say? While President Trump initially resisted the push, calling the files a hoax or boring, he later reversed course and supported the Epstein Transparency Act. The thing about Trump is I don't think he actually knew what was in these files. I think he was told, like, at first, you're good, you're not in it, and then he was told differently, and
If he was as smart as he claims to be, he would have went through the files himself. He has access to them, does he not? He's president, right? He has access to the files, or does he not? I don't know how that works. Regardless, he can request access to them, and he chose not to. So is he trying to ignore them? Because to me, it seems more like he's been trying to ignore it altogether more than anything. And the fact that he's in it so much shows that there's something going on. Like, it's not just, oh, I hung out with him a few times. No, dude, you hung out. You did. Everybody was, because you guys are all part of the same system. And that's the problem that we need to address in this nation. It's not the parties or anything like that. It's the entire system as in a whole. They want testimony from Elon Musk. I don't think Elon Musk is an actual U.S. citizen, so good luck with that. He's from where, Africa? Okay, he's a naturalized U.S. citizen, having become one in 2002, so I was wrong about that. He was born in South Africa. Oh, he's white as hell. That's a, see, that's a racial thing to say. Like, just to point somebody out just because you think something, like, just everybody is equal. You need to start thinking like that. But that's how most people would think. Oh, he's from South Africa? There's no way. Well, he is. And it doesn't matter where he's from. He's from this planet, God's green earth. So, yeah, he also has Canadian citizenship, it seems. So that's, to me, he has multiple citizenships. So can he be charged here? More than likely. I mean, he has naturalization. And see, here's the different categories. And it's funny because only certain elite people are allowed all these different titlements. That's all I can call it. They're titlements. They're allowed special titlements, and the rest of us are just Bentham for it. I have nothing against anybody, and you won't hear me. I make jokes or puns in regards at what other people have said, but it's not how I personally believe. It's just I find it humorous sometimes when like we gotta have a little laughter. Like it's funny. Some stuff is funny, some stuff isn't funny. But the thing is we gotta stop causing so much chaos being at each other's throat because it creates so much more problems and so much more distraction than and it creates what we have now. And it needs to be fixed. And we need to figure out how we're gonna fix this. So I'm all for it. I'm ready to fix it. Like because I've sensed this and known about this for years. There's some things Candace Owens has said on her podcast regarding other people that kind of co-align of how I feel and what's happened to me, and maybe she knows what I'm talking about. Who knows? But anyways, let's keep jumping into this. And most people, they're not gonna throw the truth out there right off the rip. They're gonna try to profit off of all this information, which I think is wrong. Like I said, I'm not monetized or anything. I'm not making anything off this. I'm just tired of the chaos. I'm tired of hearing it, and it's more than just actually physically hearing it. And it's getting deafening to the point where it's unstable. Things need to change. But okay, so this is why they're doing this, and that's why they're doing that. Democrats initially pushed for methodical methodical, methodical. Sorry. Push for a methodical redacted release via the DOJ to protect the privacy of victims. We keep hearing about victims. Republican media unredacted dump all 3 million files. We already know about all this. Can we get to the point? Let's say it on both sides. To get straight to the point. Here we go, people. And look at how much difference this is compared to, depending on how your ideology is, this is what you're gonna get to. Okay? The Republicans are straight down the narrow. They got barely anything, which means I don't know what that means. Republicans claim Democrats are stalling the release to protect high profile figures like the Clintons and wealthy donors. They want to use the files to prove a deep state conspiracy and elite corruption. House Oversight Committee. Democrats claim Republicans are cherry picking names to distract the Epstein's documented ties to Donald Trump and his current cabinet members like Howard Lutnick. They argue the GOP is turning a criminal investigation into a partisan weapon. Partisan. Sorry. It's been a long day. Tired. Partisan weapon. The New York Times. I don't really care what the New York Times has to say. The bottom line, both sides are weaponizing the 3 million pages to damage their opponents before the next election cycles. See, and it gets down to the stupid stuff. That's all they care about. They care about the system staying intact. They don't care about and they always say we care about the what's in best interest for America's interest. But the thing is America isn't the system, and the system isn't America, because America's founding ideology has been lost completely. And I'm not talking about the way things were back when it was created and how life was. I mean the simple ideology and belief system that we had when we created this place we were supposed to call the greatest place on earth. For it to even be called that is just, I think that's wrong in itself. Like, morally, it's wrong to say that. And if it is the best place on Earth, why can't we make every place the best place on Earth? Why can't Earth be the best place in the galaxy? Because it technically is. We're the only things in this galaxy. So what are we doing? We're supposed to be the only things living in this actual Milky Way galaxy that we know of as of right now. Unless they know something else that we don't know. On another planet. I don't mean a different species. I mean something on an actual inhabited planet. Even if it's us. Because if that's the question, that means this is our last destination and we have messed it up too many times before. To the point where we're running out of destinations and this is our last chance. So we need to get this shit together and figure out what's been causing the problem. And we know what the problem is. We all call it evil, we call it Satan, we call it many things. But we can't implement that own history into our own actual living presence. You know what I mean? Department of Justice originally identified 6 million pages of evidence. They only released 3.5 million. The Democratic argument that claimed the DOJ is hiding the remaining 2.5 to 3 million pages because they likely contain damaging evidence against Trump, Elon, blah, 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 blah. The Trump and Clinton subpoena war, Republican subpoena Bill and Hillary Clinton, focusing on Bill Clinton's numerous flights on Epstein's plane. The bottom line, Democrats want the unredacted full 6 million page set because they believe the full truth will show that the GOP's current inner circle was much closer to Epstein than the release files currently suggest. Well, yeah, it's going to show that both parties are corrupt. It's going to it's not about the parties. It's about the system in itself. Because what you guys fail to realize is these people all know one another. It's not like they don't know one another. They're around each other all the time. They work together. They are employees or co-employees, and you can't just at this point you can't blame Epstein. We should look at Epstein almost to the point as a blessing in disguise, because if that wouldn't have happened and all this didn't happen the way that it has happened, I'm not saying what happened is good in any way, mean, shape, or form, but if this wouldn't have happened, we would have never known and had this chance and opportunity we're faced with right now, today, in current modern times, to actually deal with it and actually stop it before it actually does spread to the point where it can't be contained and fixed. That's the goal now, people. It's not about who's right or wrong and who did what. The thing is everybody's been doing what they want to do, and it's just been for themselves. Because the thing is either Trump's involved with it. He sure as hell didn't know about a lot of things that are going on. And mind you guys, this is just one person's email address. This is one person that we have named on file. If one person connected to all these other people. He's not the ringleader. He's definitely not the ringleader. Did you not watch his interview? Yeah, I don't know what you guys saw from the interview, but I can tell you right now, he's not the main focus. He's just the key to unlocking what's really going on. And he truly is. And I truly believe that, and I know that. I know that for a fact. Because I've been literally saying this secretly on messaging system on people's profiles and like videos, not profiles, but like videos that you watch just in the comment sections and stuff and posts that you see on social media sites. I say little things. Just like with the whole Bitcoin situation that everybody's freaking out about. That's true too. And I've been warning people about that for a long ass time. And I honestly I hate to say it, I told everybody so that I know personally, and I'm happy for the ones that took my advice when I said don't trust it. And then I feel really bad for the ones that are involved with it, because yes, it's tied into all this shit. And if you don't think it is, it is. Like, it's coming out. I mean, it's all there for you to find out for yourself. But it is gonna it is everybody's gonna see it. Just you gotta look for yourself. And if you don't want to know the truth, then wait till the narrative becomes the truth. But don't sit there and just automatically take a side because your friend's taking a side, or maybe that your significant other's taking a side, and you want to just jump on the bandwagon and just be cool and popular with the narrative that's going around, or maybe the narrative that you're scared to just say, hey, I I don't want to be involved with it. It the whole situation frightens me, and I just don't want to be a part of it. I'll wait until the dust settles, and I'll get back in place and in line to however the narrative's going to be, and that's fine. That's fine. Like, you can't force people to do anything, and I don't think anybody should. And that's the problem. They've been forcing us to live this way for a very long time, while they get to do whatever the hell they want. And who is they? It's Legion. And I don't mean to laugh, but I say that because I've been saying this for 20 years. But it's funny to me that I've been trying to warn everybody. It hasn't been that long. Maybe it has been that long. But, anyways. And gosh, do they love chaos. That's what the definition of it is, chaos in the physical form. Look it up. I can show you guys. I'm not going to show you guys. We're not going to go down that path. All right now. I can't unveil all my secrets, but time shall tell, for I have appeared. But let's see what we can see.
The Republicans seem like, you know,
You see what they say?
do you want a list of Trump linked names found in the files to see the other side of the argument? Hmm. Now, if you guys are looking this up, because if you're a Republican, it basically is telling you, like, to me, this is instilling confidence on the right side, whoever's on the right, however your ideologies or whatever your opinions are and how you guys feel. This isn't to change anybody's perspective. This is just to provide light into a very dark situation that we have been living in for a very long time. And for you guys to realize that it's not just like people have been corrupted to being certain ways because agendas and motives and people's own personal feelings and beliefs have been the narrative for so long, and it needs to stop. And it's dictated what we call life and living in general, so it needs to be changed, or it's going to be too late.
It's going to be too late. We're going to destroy everything.
um Save that. Okay, so
Democrats, Republicans are cherry picking names to distract the Epstein's documented ties to Donald Trump and his current cabinet members like Howard Lutnick. They argue the GOP is turning a criminal investigation into a partisan weapon. Okay,
so Howard Lutnick. Let's just open up a side thing. Let's see what this says.
in the House. I see how it says there is no public evidence for current members. I didn't ask you if it had. See how it tried to give you false information. This is where it gets confusing because, believe it or not, the system created the system we're using. So now we have to bypass the stupid algorithm system that's there to actually make everything messed up. While millions of pages of documents, including flight logs, address books, and emails, have been made public through recent Department of Justice release, there are no current members of the U.S. House of Representatives, clients, or travelers. What do we call this? How about any Unless that name keeps swallowing. Let's make sure we spell this right. And it didn't spell it right. In. Did I spell it wrong? I spelled it wrong again, didn't I? That's fine. What's the names of these individuals? Well, Howard Lutnick went to his island. It says it right there. I don't know who Howard Lutnick is, so not really sure who that is. Donald Trump and his current cabinet members like Howard Lutnick. Who is Howard Lutnick? Who's this guy? Who the fuck is this guy? Government official. Served as the 41st United States Secretary of Commerce. Batch of Epstein files. It says right here he went to the island. Listed in recent tranches due to past businesses. Correspondence in 2012 visit to Epstein's private island with his family. Robert F. Kennedy, Secretary of Health and Human Services, included in Epstein's archive contact book and travel records. So RFK is in it too. William Burns, CIA director. 3 meetings with Epstein. Let's go over here real quick. Sam run so far. Didn't we have access to the list of people that the 8 people that were also subpoenaed with Hillary, right? And Trump, or not Trump, sorry, not Trump. Melania Trump. See how it keeps saying something about illegal behavior? In any aspect they are there, you tell me from now on. Okay, because we keep just getting a repeat and it's causing chaos. Merrick Garland, John Roberts, wrote this person, Thomas Massey, James Comer, William Burns, Howard Lutnick, RFK, Melania. Wait a second. Who was all on the flight logs on the list? Lolita Express. That was his plane, right? These are all the different people that actually went on his plane. Now, I looked at Trump's flight log list earlier, and he's on there multiple times. He's also on there, and I can show you guys this real quick right now. Agree. You can see that he was actually on it a few times, and him and Epstein were on it individually, just them two privately. That's actually in the files on record, and it was like in the early 90s. It was majority in the 90s, but him and Epstein hung out a lot in the 90s, like a lot. Where we just know on the plane for sure where the planes were going. I don't know any of that. I haven't dug that deep into it because, like I said, focus on what's important. Don't just pick sides and be like, well, I'm going to go after this person because he represents that side of the party I don't like. And the thing is that you shouldn't be looking at the parties. You should be looking at the system. Who's involved with the system because it's both members of it's like both parties are the system. And all these other side things that we have that are implemented like liberals and I don't know what they all are. There's a lot of them. It's no different than the LGBTQT whatever community. The government system it's created the same way to cause more chaos, to cause more confusion, so that we can be at each other's throats and judge each other based on an ideology instead of, me personally, just like it's an ideology. And there's too many different ideologies floating around. But there should only be one true ideology. And we'll get into that on a later episode. If you guys can handle that, we'll see with due time. For we shall see the future. The future has not been told, but the past has been written. And to start treating today like it's a gift, for it is the present. We have the power to change tomorrow. That's the whole point of having the gift of life. You get to dictate your own future. That's what freedom is. Now, are you going to be righteous and do good, or are you going to feed into the systematic legion that is chaos and is designed for chaos, by chaos, to just let everybody just do whatever the hell they want? And then the whole point of being connected to all of us and each other is it's lost. And then it just lets it, weird ideas run wild. And then the ideas turn into reality. And I think that's what we're seeing a glimpse into. We're seeing a glimpse into what's going on behind the scenes, and we already know about some of the atrocious things that we read about that happen like to other people that are like, I don't want to call anyone a nobody, but in the aspect of what we have put into society based viewpoints, they're considered nobodies because no one's ever heard of them. And to me, that's just wrong in an aspect in itself. But the way that you look at it, you see all these weird things like all these crimes and all these people doing weird things in different states and different areas, and it's just like it makes you mad. It makes you feel so many different things, and it's not just necessarily the act that it happened. It's the fact that society and the system has gotten to the point that humans in themselves have the ability to think that way, to even act that way physically. And what do? We push the narrative even harder. We really do. We push it harder. We push more chaos. And instead of fixing it and identifying that, hey, this is going to create chaos, we shouldn't do this. And I don't mean a chaos to the point where, like, hey, let's cover up all the fucking Epstein files so it doesn't create the chaos. No, this is the type of chaos that needs to be created that unifies us back together as a whole one being. Not a whole one being, but a whole one ideology that we won't allow this to ever happen again, not in just our country, but let it affect the world as well. Because that's what it's doing. It's not just affecting us at home, it's not just affecting our nation, it's affecting everyone. Because the world is dependent and reliant on this country, America, what we call America. They're reliant on us. And the people that are supposed to be taking care of everybody, whether how you feel about them or not, because we do, we take care of them. We play God with everyone in the world in that aspect. And you know what? Everyone's been in line. And it hasn't been that way for a very long time. And how it is that way, I think we're starting to see how it was created. And it was created through like blackmail and basically recruitment. And I mean, this stuff goes back way further than we think. And it didn't start with Epstein. It didn't start, it started a long time ago. And we need to be able to identify that, comes into terms with that. And instead of pointing the blame, you guys have to take a moment of silence and think to yourself, who am I? What am I doing? And what's right? What's wrong? Am I going to make a difference? And I'm not talking about on the aspect of do what someone's telling you to do, like go be chaotic and cause more chaos, because I'm totally 1000% against anything that's chaos where it causes destruction and it causes people or just anything in general, not just people, anything to get destroyed. Not just people, everything. We are what we're good at doing is creating, and what we need to do is and stop is we need to start creating our place where we can be happy to be at, so that we can have a future that we're happy to bring more of us into, because that's where we're falling off track, or we just get chaos and let it take over, and it consumes us and it takes control of us. It really will. Kevin Spacey, Naomi Campbell, supermodel. There's a lot of probably porn stars and stuff in the Epstein list. I mean, there is. I mean, they created that industry. I mean, if you probably go back as far as that, that's how far this probably. I mean, this whole system has been around for a long time, and America promised the world that it wouldn't be like that anymore. And the thing is America, our dollar and our power that we hold in this world is only good as our word. So if our word is turning into nothing but a lie, then why is anyone going to trust us or believe us? Why is anyone going to put their life in our hands and be like, you know what? I'm okay. I may not live in America, but I know that that country's doing well, and I know that my country is going to do well, because if they're not doing well, I'm not doing well. And I think that's how all these other nations think. Some of them that are not, maybe they're not involved with all this deep shit that we're seeing in our own faces right here in our own nations, because a lot of them don't see any of this. They don't have access to our media coverage or anything like that. So, with that being said, it's everything. How about no shorts? Welcome. It's everything. But what was we saying? The thing is this is much deeper than everybody thinks. And like, Trump is very honest when he says certain things. Like, I'm not, like I said, we don't take sides here, but when he says things like Putin he doesn't want to take control of the world, Xi Jinping doesn't want to take, I truly don't think they want the burden of it. I don't think anyone wants the burden of taking care of everybody and having the responsibility of everyone on their shoulders and making sure everyone's okay. Why would anybody want that responsibility? The thing is it's not that hard. I don't think it's that hard. But the thing is we created this society where we have only the elites that have created the corruptness. Like, you literally have to pay into the society that they created. The dark web in the dark society is just dark, period. The fact that everything's dictated by the amount of wealth that you obtain, and that your person as a human being is determined and dictated by how much wealth you actually have, is sad. And maybe that's one of the reasons that, I mean, Elon in himself says things that he says. I'm not taking his side, but he says things that everybody should notice and we should point out, because he does say them when he was trying to be blackmailed. And he spoke very, sternly with what he said. What did he say? Oh, Elon. What did he say? Here it is. It's only 33 seconds. Oh, not this guy. I don't know this guy, sorry. Oh, we'll just click on it. And I'll tell you what right now. This is his guy. Shout out to whoever this is. It's not my stuff, it's his. Um, the thing is it's not about how much money he has that he doesn't care. It's more the context that he doesn't even value money, because he doesn't live in that type of system. He doesn't live with that mindset. He understands that money is used to control, and he doesn't live in that mind frame. And that's why he's dangerous to these elites, because the people who aren't stuck in the mind frame that they have created for everyone to be doing right now, it poses a threat. I'm not saying that Elon's a threat. I'm just saying the way, if you can figure out that's just one key to unlocking being free. And I see what Elon does because I'm into tech, and I'm not a fan of anybody but myself. And the thing is, I try to live my life in the aspect of I put people who are better than me in certain aspects so that I can learn knowledge off of them, not piggyback off them or anything like that, but learn stuff from them or learn from their mistakes so that I can, to me, just become a better person. And nobody does that anymore. Like, people just want to be around people that are less than them so that they can be the top. The top G. I think you guys know who I'm talking about when I say that. And everybody's lost. Yeah, George Carlin did in his monologue. Maybe we should check some George Carlin out tonight. Maybe we'll take a little brief break. I smoke. I smoke. Tobacco's good for you. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not saying smoke's good for you either. But the tobacco agent chemicals, they say they're good for you. I don't know. You guys can check into that yourselves. But what I heard through the grapevine, I'm doing fine and I do it. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not telling anyone to do anything. Be your own person. Be you. The Rock said it once in that movie, the wrestling movie. He said, "Don't be the next Rock. Be the next you." He said it just like that. But I am going to step away here for a second because we are diving deep. And George Carlin, I mean, he had some wisdom in him, and we are going to look some George Carlin up. George Carlin. I can't look up too much based on his stuff because I'm pretty sure I can check this. Let me fact check myself real quick. Let me fact check my mind. so I don't get in trouble. So I don't get in trouble by everyone else's standards that have been put in place. Let me fact check my mind. This stuff's highly copyrighted for use guidelines. To qualify as a fair use, the action must be transformative. I understand how to do all that. Using copyrighted material without authorization. 2 seconds, everybody. Doing some side research real quick. So I can try to make this as entertaining as we can without getting too dark and going down a very deep, dark path that nobody is. I don't think any of you guys are ready to take. I really don't. You guys need to. You guys need to realize what's really at hand here. But I'm trying to keep it very subtle for everybody because I hate to say it. Look at this. I'm gonna show you guys something. What is it called? Project what? I don't even want to show you guys this because I just linked this together and I don't want to talk about it because it actually scares me. I just figured it out, connected it last night. So we are very short in time, with time. We really are. Running all the time. Find it safer to shorter individual clips found on official channels rather than attempting to stream an entire hour-long special at once. Would you like to? We will review a couple of his things because he makes a lot of good topics of what we're going to actually touch on. And you know what? And it's not because I've seen him, because my family, my mom, and people I know, they have shown me like little silly clips that he does and stuff, and I've seen them. It says it will trigger controversial content filters. That's pretty messed up. Why would it be controversial content filters? Controversial into what aspect? It'll show that there's a weird thing going on that nobody's been aware of. Maybe, maybe. Question is how did he know? And I personally know how he knows because maybe, just maybe. I don't know. I'd have to do more research regarding him because he was part of the system. He was in the system. He was famous. He was rich. He's the system. The system is that. Like all these comedians make fun of it, but they know what the hell that is going on too. They're just playing stupid with you, and they're making money off of the entertainment that they're providing by playing stupid with you. Or, oh, oh my gosh, come on. And I'm not talking about them being part of what everybody is doing in this dark cult shit that we're starting to read about, like the sacrificing and all that crap. I'm talking about they know that it exists. And I'm talking about the system that they know that just doesn't make any sense anymore. It's 2026. We're living in a system that was created 2,000 years ago off of ideologies and belief systems that are so old they might as well, they're ancient. What are we doing? We're living in chaos. There it is. There's that word again. Chaos. They don't like chaos here. They don't like that. They don't like chaos. Chaos. We don't want that. It doesn't. It doesn't exist. Official channels react to clips from the official George Carlin YouTube or HBO Max YouTube rather than full-length pirated uploads. These are shorter and pre-approved for public viewing. The 30-second rule aim to pause and provide. Well, all his shit's copyrighted. I don't want my thing to get copyrighted for the algorithm for people not to see this, so that sucks. I'm getting tired. There's a lot to go through. Can we get to the point? The point is Democrats want more. And the Republicans just seem to be trying to fly under the radar, it seems like. It seems like whoever's just sitting in the House is trying to defend something right now. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take this over here. Oh, not this one. Open this one. And let's go AI mode. These are all the different countries mentioned, okay? You see how basic it gave us? It gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flags, okay? Australia, Austria, Iran, Mexico, Iran's in it, and Russia. Now, when you go to this, list all countries regardless of claims. List all countries regardless of claims. Name the countries listed and how many times they are listed. See how long it took? Holy crap. Indicates mentions of numerous countries through various record sources. Specific countries cited include Afghanistan, basically over 1,000 times, Costa Rica, 324 times, Vatican City. The Vatican City's mentioned. Did anybody know that? I don't know how to pronounce this word. I'm not going to try to because you caused me to speak in tongues, and I already do that enough for you guys as it is. Historical 61 mentions. San Marino, 27 mentions. Historical. And the Soviet Union, historical, 3 mentions. There's only 3 mentions of the Soviet Union. Other countries mentioned hundreds or even over 1,000 of times include the United Kingdom, Israel, France, India, Slovakia, and Russia. Sourced. Additional information could find through various news outlets. Oh, see, and this is the crazy thing. Any other major figures mentioned in the files that are currently deceased? Deceased figures mentioned in the files. Michael Jackson, the late King of Pop, is listed in multiple documents, including Flight logs and contact lists through no accusations of wrongdoing were filed against him. See, this is the thing. They say no accusations of wrongdoing were filed against him in these specific papers. That doesn't mean shit. To me, that doesn't mean anything. It just means that they didn't do their job, maybe. And I'm not saying that Michael did anything, but what I'm saying is just because the accusations, that's the thing. Though no accusations, they already told on themselves because there are accusations. Or though no accusations of wrongdoing were filed against him in these specific papers, then why is he mentioned? Let's see if why he's mentioned. Why is Michael mentioned? Why is Michael mentioned? Just put everybody at ease, because I know a lot of people are Michael Jackson fans. I like his music. He was a hell of a singer. Epstein files due to social proximity and business related records from the early 2000s. There are no allegations of wrongdoing. AI will not talk to you unless you make it talk to you. He was seeking financial advice from Epstein. Jackson also appears in Epstein's personal contact list. Reports indicate Michael Jackson met with Epstein in 2002 regarding financial matters and negotiations with Sony. So Sony is involved. As they reportedly shared it, Sony just sold some of its stake too. If everybody didn't know, and that's one thing about me being involved with like the tech industry, like in my own personal life, I'm involved with tech. I love everything, but I love technology in itself. Um, Unsealed in 2024, witness Johanna Schomburg stated she met Jackson at Epstein's Palm Beach home. I used to live here, Palm Beach, West Palm County. I think that's where that's at. I'm not sure. When asked if she ever gave him a message, she denied it and did not allege any misconduct. Flight logs and contacts. Sexton's name appears on flight manifests confirming he traveled on Epstein's private aircraft and in Epstein's personal contact books. Business meetings. How many times did he appear on the flight logs? Flight logs. Verified travel records of Epstein's plane, primary for travel related to social and potential business connections. Witness corroboration in an unsealed 2024 witness Joanna Schmalm. We already read about that. Business records. His name is linked to logs involving trips where other high-profile figures were also present, such as in updated photos with Bill Clinton and Diana Ross that were found within the same evidentiary caches. Contact information. Beyond the flight logs, he is name dropped in the extensive contact book released by the JOJ in late 2025, early 2026. He is name dropped in an extensive contact book released by extensive contact book. See how it's still trying to push the narrative that I'm trying to like. I'm not a cop, and what you guys consider as breaking the law has been so misconstrued, like because the law itself is very chaotic. They expect you to follow the law, but nobody ever tells you what the law actually is until you break it. That doesn't make any sense. Like God didn't create laws, and like in their aspect, God did create the laws, but that's the problem. The system of legion is a false prophet that everybody's been being controlled by for a long fucking time. Unsealed in 2024, she met Jackson at Epstein's home in Palm Beach. We already know that. And I'm not trying to target Michael right now. I'm just curious to Michael at all and to make sure, like, because a lot of people will look his name up and then now they can see it. Like, because there's, seems to me like photos with Epstein. He's got photos posing with Jackson, group photos. See, the thing is Michael knew a bunch of people too. So what I'm saying is, this is George Carlin put it perfectly clear. Like how about New Stewart said, you have to you well. He didn't say you have to pay to be part of the club. What he said is you're not. He said it's one big fucking club. You ain't in it. You don't pay to be in the club because these people don't care about money. They created the money system and they've corrupted the hell out of it. But yeah, let's jump back over to what the let's jump back over to here because this is what we truly deal with. We deal with the left and we deal with the right and we deal with everybody being at each other's throat. And these guys gotta stop this shit. I'm telling you. Oh shit. I actually wanted to look at the other names, but we kind of singled out Michael, and it wasn't to place judgment on him or anything like that. I was kind of arguing with the AI algorithm more than anything because it doesn't like to criminalize people. And that's when we'll jump over here, Epstein. Search Epstein. Let's see what AI. And we will activate the key to understanding. And this is the thing right here. Shifts. All you do is search Epstein list. It'll tell you all this bullshit. And then if you say in a higher moral sense, moving from the legal records to a higher moral sense shifts the focus from criminality to complicity and the failure of institutional guardrails. The power imbalance. At its core, the moral outcry isn't just about individual names, but the systematic way wealth and status were used to shield a predatory network, the Legion. It represents a pay to play social tier where the moral responsibility of the powerful to protect the vulnerable was traded for proximity to influence. The sin of silence, morality, or morally. Many of those named are scrutinized not for what they did, but for what they ignored. The National Center on Sexual Exploitation argues that the list reflects a cultural culture of looking the other way, where social capital was deemed more valuable than the safety of the children involved. It's not just children though, it's all of us. Because they've literally betrayed our entire system. And they have used our system to fit their narrative of sick, twisted shit that they do. Betrayal of public trust. For political and business leaders, the more weight lies in the betrayal of trust. When figures who shape public policy or global economies are found in such a network, it erodes the foundational belief that those at the top are held to the same ethical standards as everyone else, the victim's dignity. A higher moral approach prioritizes the restoration and victims. In this view, the list isn't a scoreboard for gossip but a map of accountability required to validate the trauma of survivors like the Virginia person, and ensures it cannot happen again. I don't know who this person is, to be honest with everybody, and sorry for if that offends anybody. I'm not trying to offend anybody in this video. I'm not trying to blame anybody in this video. I'm trying to blame the entire system in its whole in the video. Something happened to her. She was killed last year. Something happened to her. Was an American and Australian advocate for survivors of sex trafficking and one of the most prominent accusers of the child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. On victims refuse silence, a U.S. nonprofit. Does anybody know who this is? Is that her? That's the picture I see the most of. Oh, that's the prince. Does she have any kids? Because we keep seeing that there's kids that keep parent, sibling, spouse, Robert Goofy. When did this happen to him? And who is this guy? Who is this guy? Or estranged? Why do they label him like that? Estranged? He's from Thailand. She met Robert Godfrey. He's an Australian martial arts trainer. Is he in the Epstein file? Is he in the Epstein list? Let's see. Is he in the files? Don't ask it about a list. That's the thing. You guys are confusing the algorithm system by asking it for a damn list. And then it's programmed to give you a client list, and then it's just not going to give you shit. Keep calling it a file. In the unsealed files and recent reports, is identified as the husband of blah blah blah, the prominent Epstein survivor who passed away. His present is in his present in the records and surrounding disclosures focused on the following areas: personal history and marriage, recent allegations, controversies, abuse allegations, presence and nobody's good. Did something happen to this guy? Nobody's good, Virginia. No, I don't want to know any of that. Well, he seems like he's doing good. Unless in her husband, Robert, who's Goofy. Oh. So he inherited all of her money. And they're saying she died by suicide. Is she the one that. How much money did she have? Whitty River Family Trust. What is that? That sounds weird. Ah, come on. Got A. What is this? There's some recent stuff in here. How much money did Virginia get after death? 12 million in settlement money paid to her by Andrew. Is that Prince Andrew? It is. So what? She got killed right after she got a. This piece of shit gave her all the money. The thing is he's not being held in account, is he? What, he stepped away? We all know that this guy right here is and you know what? Look at him. And this gives you the idea of what type of people are involved in this corrupt fucking society. And excuse me for saying that, but in this corrupt society, in this fan club, because they're all just they're like, hey, it's like the movie Hostel. If anyone's ever seen Hostel, it's like that. Like these people get their kicks off of living off of us and then treating us like shit and then laughing at us. Why we destroy each other? Like we're entertainment for them. Mm. It's just my way of thinking about it. Like that's how it makes me feel. That's how it makes me think. It's not even about how I feel. It's just what it is. It's really how it is. It's the truth coming out. That's what it really is. The sin of silence morally. Nobody's scared. Paul Smith is. I have no idea who this guy is. It's probably corrupt though, anyway. What's it show? Uh, this. The files clarify that Virginia's father, Sky Robert Sr., was the relative she accused of initiating her cycle of abuse at age 7, an allegation he has denied. This Reno, I didn't mean to put that. I meant to put disregarding. I didn't put this Reno disregarding. Now, this is the big picture of the Epstein files, just so everybody wants to know what to actually focus on, okay? Because it's not pointing the finger at the left or the right pointing the finger at the right and the left pointing the finger at the right and the right pointing the finger at the left. It's not about all that. And we need to move past that. I said, disregarding them, we're just focusing on the big picture of the Epstein files. Moving past the individual legal dramas, the big picture of the Epstein files reveals a profound systematic failure that cuts across politics, finance, and law enforcement. In a higher moral sense, the record shows three key things. The two-tier justice system, the big picture, exposes a breakdown in the rule of law. The 2008 plea deal, the records highlight how federal prosecutors allowed a non prosecution agreement that protected unnamed co conspirators. So that highlights that. Moral implication, it suggests that for a certain class of people, justice is a negotiation rather than a consequences. And we know that in regards to the Clintons trying to, they get subpoenaed in the court and they're like, well, we'll come in on our terms. That's not how it's supposed to work. You come or you go to jail. I mean, that's how the normal person gets treated. You should be treated the same. You're not special. You people aren't special. You just think you're special in your own minds in a weird twisted concept. You don't even think you're special because if you did, you wouldn't be doing this shit. Like you just don't care. You're evil. You're sick. You're twisted. You don't care about human life. And you want to see it destroy itself. Like you get kicks out of it. 2008 plea deal. The records show how federal prosecutors allowed a non-prosecution agreement that protected unnamed co-conspirators. We know about that. Suggests that for a certain class of people, justice is a negotiation. We just read that. Institutional complicity versus individual guilt. Perhaps the most significant takeaway is that wasn't just the work of one man, but an ecosystem. The ecosystem of chaos and legion that I tell you guys that I've been trying to say. Legion. The bank's internal emails from J.P. Morgan Chase and the Dutch bank show that executives were often aware of suspicious activity but prioritized profit over human rights. We already know that. Human rights and lives. The social circle. The big picture shows that dozens of people in positions of extreme power were aware of the open secret of his behavior but continued to lend him credibility through social association. And the thing is they did it because he made them famous and he made them rich and they kicked it with him and then they're just bored, hanging out wherever. It's not necessarily the island. It could be any of those islands I showed you guys earlier. There's tons of those islands. If we go back and recap, legislative reforms, what is that? Murder Sentencing Act. Halt. We're not worried about just the Epstein case anymore at this point, people. We're worried about Epstein being tied into a bunch of sick, twisted people that are all doing a lot more, probably worse things than he was doing. Like I said, he's just the key to unlocking all the stuff that's been going on for a very long time. Probably even before these people's lifetimes. Reduce mandatory minimums. It would lower the mandatory floor for certain nonviolent drug offenses. What does this have to do with any of this? Restores judicial discretion. It grants federal judges more power to access cases individually, deciding when the hair sheet penalties are truly warranted rather than being legally forced into a specific number. Okay. So far, I'm not reading anything that's going to fix the system because this doesn't. Reduces mandatory minimums. The thing is jail has been turned. Is jail's a part of this as well? The jail system is a part of this system as well that is being used as profit gains. It is. And we literally have the slaves that are out doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then the people that don't confine or they just act stupid and they end up in jail. But they're honestly doing better than anyone else that's out here working because the people out here working are also taking care of people that are in jail. See how that system doesn't work? And the people that are working their asses off shouldn't be required to take care of everyone and their mother and brother. If we're going to do that, then everybody has to work as a whole and we take care of each other 100% fully, evenly. Everyone is applied the same rights and everything. What I'm reading here, whatever this Smarter Sentencing Act, to me, all it shows is that you're determining how long you can detain somebody. But the thing about 10 years, why would someone have to spend 10 years in jail for violent drug offenses? 10 years? The president doesn't even get 10 years, even with 2 terms. And you expect somebody with violent drug offenses. I don't know. It says for certain non-violent drug offenses. So whatever that is just weird in itself. It would allow individuals sentenced under older, harsher laws like those predating the 2010 fair petition first. This doesn't fix the problem with the country. Sorry, but this is irrelevant. Whoever created this doesn't fix anything. It says ultimately the list is a collective collection of villains. It's a diagnostic tool for society where wealth can insulate individuals from the moral and legal standards applied to everyone else. It reveals a world where who you know became a shield against what you did. Look at this act fixes nothing. When you tell it that, this act fixes nothing. You're hating the core frustration. Sentencing reform doesn't fix a corrupt deal. And the thing is watch me say this to it, and I'll admit it. And, well, I'm not gonna say it. I'll keep it to myself for right now. And that's the thing. Defendants can afford a legal army to bury the government in motions as long as private defense resources vastly outweigh public prosecution budgets. The scales are tilted before the trial even starts, and that is true. That is definitely true, and that's why you never see anyone be held accountable. And to be honest with you guys, the whole thing of I think Diddy took a fall. Did anybody ask if Diddy was in the files? Is Diddy in the files? Is Diddy in the files? Hmm. So is that part of a different thing that's going on? And because everybody said this guy is. Hey, let's just ask you this: who in the music industry is in the files? In the unsealed files and records. Okay. Who in the music industry is in the files? And now we're getting back to Michael Jackson. Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones frontman, appears in social photographs with Bill Clinton and an unidentified woman in a cocktail attire. He is also listed in Epstein's personal contact book. Hmm. Diana Ross, Phil Collins, Courtney Love, Edgar Bronfman Jr., Warner Music Group. Well, Jay Z and Pusha T were mentioned in the unverified FBI tips from 2019. The tips alleged social attendance at parties decades ago but are not collaborated with flight logs or business records. The presence of these icons in the file serves as a higher morale illustration of how Epstein and Maxwell carefully curated a veneer of A-list legitimacy to hide their illicit activities. Yes, yes. Let's just say yes. Like I said, this system's only as smart as you are, I guess, or as much as you ask it and get into it, I guess. Music industry, flight logs versus contact logs, social photos, not necessarily on a plane, new photographs released by the DOJ, Margaret posing, Mick Jagger demos at events, Black Book, uncorroborated. The big picture here is the names grab headlines. The FBI's own internal notes often categorize these entries as social proximity rather than criminal participation. Thing is everybody kicked it with each other. And it's not just him. And this is where it gets confusing because if I start looking up him and these people that are basically not part of the system that they're claiming, oh, they're not part of the system, they're not doing no wrong, but they know him. If I start looking deep into them, you're probably going to see that they're also linked to other people and they're linked to other people, and it creates a web of bullshit. This is so deep embedded that we're never going to get down to the grounds of it. So instead of trying to just point fingers at each other, the whole system needs to be changed because it's not working. The system's created to protect us as a nation and protect our God given rights as human beings. Human beings. But Homo sapiens, as you call it. But, yes. And this is thing, Privacy Act. Yes, the Privacy Act. The Privacy Act protects it. And when it was created, the Privacy Act of 1974 feels less like a protection of civil liberties and more like a legal shroud of the powerful. And this is the problem. We have too many private organizations here in the United States. Like everything's became private. Why do they get a Privacy Act? Why doesn't everybody get we're all supposed to be entitled to the Privacy Act, aren't we? Breakdown of trust. When the Privacy Act is used in a case of this magnitude, it shifts the burden of proof onto the victims and the public. It suggests that the reputation of a powerful individual is legally more valuable than the public's need for accountability. This is why legal scholars argue that for cases involving systematic human trust, this shouldn't even exist in a country where we're supposed to create, where we're supposed to be creating everybody equally, except for your own private temple of which you dwell in as your own individual entity. The fact that there's so many things that are labeled as secrets, like literally. Here's another one, Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Oh, let's just go back. Let's not ask Bitcoin. Let's ask about crypto. Because I've been talking about this shit for years, at least 10 years. About how cryptos ran. They didn't find anything. Of course they didn't. It was drained while he was in jail. We all know that. Epstein invested $500,000 into the Bitcoin infrastructure company Blockstream in 2014 through a fund managed by MIT Media Lab's Joy Ito. Blockstream CEO Adam Back stated the company divested this stakes months later due to a conflict of interest and has no current financial ties to the estate. Massive profits. Epstein later sold half of his Coinbase stake in 2018 for approximately $15 million dollars in nearly $10,000 gain, or 10,000 10 gain, 10 times gain. Epstein donated 525,000 specifically to the MIT DCI when the Bitcoin Foundation collapsed in 2015. This funding was indirectly used to pay the salaries of core developers, including Vladimir Van Gavin Asterson and Corey Fields. Corey Fields sounds familiar. It's Corey Fields sounds familiar. Personal outreach. Emails show Epstein claimed to have spoken with the founders of Bitcoin and pitch creating a Shahira compliant digital currencies to Saudi royal advisors in 2016. The records show Epstein was in constant contact with architects of the crypto world. Key names. The files mention Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Adam Beck, Austin Hill, and Brian Johnson. Shifting views despite his investments. 2017 correspondence shows a skeptical turn. Epstein explicitly told an associate that Bitcoin was not worth buying at that time. Intending to buy his way into the foundation layer just as he had with traditional finance and academia. So he was pushing it to control the entire market, take over the US dollar. That's what he was trying to do. And now we have this stupid Bitcoin crap. That's basically make believe currency, just like what we already got. So now we got two forms of it. These guys have been printing monies to themselves to. And that's what I'm saying. You guys need to stop arguing with each other because there's more at hand than really meets the eye. So like Transformers, Robot in disguise. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, Transformers. Yep, some of that. It's crazy. It's crazy the world we're living in. But to be honest, it's really not that crazy because if you read in history or like there's been crazy stuff going on for all mankind. And that's the legion mindset cycle that we need to break from. And we need to fix the cycle before it breaks us and destroys us. We need to get this shit going. Well, I have the plan. You just have to follow along. But this is my viewpoint where we stand at so far right now. We're gonna end this for now and call this episode done. We will check back into specific things if anybody wants to actually, know anything. Maybe new stuff will come and we can present that to you guys. But we already know what's at hand and what needs. We don't know what the thing is people are lost right now and they don't understand what needs to be done. And I'm telling you, what needs to be done has never happened in this nation, for one, and two, it's unheard of. It's something that we don't talk about, and this stems to so much deep connected stuff. You see all the nations it's connected to. I can't touch on the nations. Can we really touch on the nations? I can't because it everybody's a victim. Everyone's a victim in the list. That's what they're putting at. Everyone's a victim besides the victims themselves that actually got mistreated. And the people that want to come out and try to accuse people, for instance, if you found out, as soon as you found out, you should have said something. Or maybe you should have walked up to them and said, "Hey, man, this is wrong, man. What's going on? I didn't know you were like this." Like, where's our moral sense of judgment in the world today? Like, where is people's common sense? Just please get some common sense. Like the moral judgment and like aptitude of knowing that is hard enough to deal with in itself. But please just use common sense, like moral common sense, please, because it's getting out of hand. It's really getting out of hand. It's already out of hand. It's past out of hand. But you guys are gonna make it more out of hand. And we're not going to get a root to the problem. These sickos are still out there living with their ideology. They're still forcing us to do their way for them, do thy bidding. And thy bidding is wrong. What we have been told is the normal is wrong. Our history is written, our past was written for a reason. It was so that we didn't have to keep repeating it. And so that we can change and grow from it. And if we're not going to do that, then what's the point anymore? Like, if we're just going to keep resetting the cycle, it's stupid. But we ranted, raved. We got down. Well, that was my rant, rave. That's all I got for now. For now. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hope you guys got some answers you were looking for. I hope maybe you'll stop trying to blame thy neighbor for what Legion has created, and you can get down to the point and we can address the evil that's at hand. That's what needs to happen. Because if it's not going to happen, we're going to throw in the towel. But hope you guys see this. I hope it reaches out to people. Maybe it gave you some clarity of mind. Maybe it gave you peace of mind. Hopefully, it helps you to understand what we're actually looking for and what the big problem is. It's not a particular name. There's multiple names, thousands. It's about addressing the cycle that doesn't work. And to be honest, I saw when we bring up Tucker Carlson again, I saw him and Cenk Uyghur's video that they did together. Took a middle of winter and there's a damn ant right there. Make that make sense. Little baby ant just knocked it off my cannon. Oh, not Tucker. We're not searching. We're gonna search YouTube. And we'll search Tucker. Tucker. Tucker Carlson. I saw the whole reason I did this video is because I saw this video with Cenk Uyghur or Ogre. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shank. And they did a video regarding JFK, 9/11, Israel's terrorism, blah, 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 blah. And then this came out, Christian persecution. This is new. But I saw this and I felt like I needed to come out, do what I just did. I don't know. We'll see as we'll see what we'll see what plays out. But this is the whole reason I came out to the open. Hope you guys enjoyed this. You guys can like, share, subscribe. It's all free, as it should be. Um, Not easy, but it should be free, especially if you're working hard. And we all should be working hard to better understand ourselves as individuals and as what we truly are. But we will see you on the next one, on the next episode. I am going to cut this up and make it a really long, probably different series of contrast so we can get a little bit more organized because we went over a lot of stuff here. We didn't touch grounds on too much. What I wanted to do was clear the air so that anybody that sees this or comes to my channel and witnesses this, and you guys understand that where my point of view is, where I'm coming from, is how the system of never ending cycles needs to be broken. And people don't want to hear that. And it's not necessarily us as people, but there's there's forces at hand that don't want to hear that because they love it. They love the chaos that's created from it. And I don't know, the sick twisted ideas that come in your head. That's the thing. Can't live with Satan in your mind. He dwells there a lot, but you can't let him come out. Can't let him show his face. And a lot of you guys are, you become Satan in the flesh. Need to address it before it's out of control. It's already out. It's already past the point where it needs fixed. Like, and it should have never needed fixed. It should have been perfected over times, and this is why civilizations fall. But it is what it is. We're gonna deal with it. But hope to catch you guys on the next one. I hope that you guys stop placing blame where they're telling you to place it, and you start realizing where it actually needs to be placed at, and deal and like let's address it. Don't get violent. Don't get absurd. Don't add to the chaos because that's what feeds these people. It's what feeds them. It's what feeds the entity lurking. You guys are feeding it, and it's it can never get full. You gotta stop feeding the shit. But catch us on the next one. Hope I reached out to anybody. Hope you got the message. Till next time. We do a lot of other things here. I mean, I do everything. Like I said, I'm good at everything. Woo!